Now, I'm going to show you how to trace your hand, because we need to trace our hands for this project. I'm going to show you a good example and a bad example. First thing I'm going to show you is a bad example. I'm using a pen just so that you can see it on screen, but you'll use a pencil. Now what most people do is they hold their pencil or pen just like how they normally would down here, and then they write like they normally would, which is sort of at an angle, and they push in. And when you trace that way, you can feel it underneath on the palm of your hand. So this is the bad example. And what's going to end up happening is this is going to end up looking like some strange, skinny alien hand. Because I'm holding it like I normally would, pushing in. And that's what I end up with. You see that part didn't even trace there. There we go. So that's what I end up with, is just this weird, skinny, alien-like hand. And what we want to do is when we trace our hand, we're going to hold it way up here. And we're going to hold it straight up and down like this. So it's more like this and not like this. Okay? So when you hold it in the middle or towards the back and hold it straight up and down, and then you should feel the pin on the side of your hand and not on the palm of your hand, but only on the side. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to do that on our brown piece of paper. Now, what I've done here is I've traced two left hands because I'm right-handed. So lefties, you would trace two right hands. This is just to make it easier on yourself. And then we're going to cut both of them out. All right, then you need to flip one over. Make sure you flip one over so that you don't end up with two left hands. You want to make sure you have a right hand. Then you're going to draw one of the streams and you're going to fill it up with the Zentangles. Here's a big PDF for you of just a bunch of Zentangles are all over the internet. Pinterest, tanglepatterns.com, and I've just printed a few out for you. You can look through and you can pick them out. Now you're not going to waste any of your time with pencil. The only time you use a pencil is just to add the string. So here I'm just going to add the string, and you can just make it kind of a string like that, or you can draw it in more intently, defining the space in the hands. It's up to you. Then you're going to just start putting in patterns. Now sometimes kids say, well, if I copy from this, isn't that like copying? I'm like, no, because it's not copying. It's more like using the words spelled correctly to tell a story. You're going to use these tangles to create a work of art. So if you're uncomfortable with it, like you saw, I just practiced on one on a piece of paper. So you're going to actually use some of these Zentangles that we have, or you can look up other Zentangles online if you want. But we are going to use Zentangles that other people have created, just like we use the correct spelling that other people have come up with when we're telling a story. I'm just going to go through super fast forward mode here and show how I use these tangles to decorate my hand on one of my hands, and then I'm going to just skip the second one so you don't have to sit through all of that. But as you can see, each one of my spaces is a new tangle created from somebody else's tangle creation. So here I'm just going to go in super duper fast forward mode so you can see. The only time I use my pencil is to sometimes pencil out a grid, which I then erase the grid. And I'm just going to do one hand, but here I have both hands completely done. Now don't lay them like that because it looks like somebody cut off your hands and threw them on the ground. Be sure that you glue them to the edge of the paper. And just take some glue stick and glue it down, making sure that it lines up with the edge of the paper. So it looks like the rest of the arm is just basically off the paper, off screen. All right, and there you are. And here are a few student examples of the same project.